You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons and Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 400, the first of the Candlekeep Mysteries, recorded April 2021, posted June 2023. A Walk with Paulie.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, a Dungeon Master, or as I prefer to be called, a Master of Dungeons. We are here today to play a brief adventure. We're playing the first adventure in the Witches of the Coast published D&D Candlekeep Mysteries Adventures, an anthology of 17 mystery-themed adventures for the world's greatest role-playing game, they say somewhat arrogantly on the cover of the book that I purchased. And I have assembled today a crack team of players who have built new level 1 characters that we are going to take to Candlekeep, a destination you will hear about very soon. But let us meet our players, and they will introduce. I will introduce them. They will introduce their characters, and we'll dive into things. First up, it's Aline Sims. Hi, Aline.
Hi. I have no idea what I'm doing. I play Lapis, the Tabaxi cleric, and our pronouns are she/her.
Thank you very much. Also joining us, James Thompson.
Hi, I'm playing Martel Mainsplain, who is a Leonine Ranger, which is basically a giant lion. And he frequently talks about himself in the third person. Pronouns.
Oh, great. No way that'll be annoying. I really appreciate the quality of work people did on the names for these characters that we may never see again. Also joining us, Kathy Campbell.
Hello,
Hi, Kathy.
I am here to play Hermione, a centaur fighter, and both of us use pronouns she, her.
Next up, it's Tiff Armit. Hi, Tiff.
Hey, welcome back to you. No.
Have you been replaced by Vampire Tiff, who's running the podcast?
I'm Tiff. I'm the she/her, and I will be playing a he/him this time. I'm playing the rock gnome druid Paulie Quartz.
Oh God! I tried to imagine in my head what Paulie Quartz's voice was going to sound like, and it was near that, but somehow not as bone chilling.
Yeah, you could probably figure it out.
Yeah, it's okay. I have a great halfling fighter in a campaign Will Wagner runs, and it's, hey, I'm Hobart Fistface, born and bred, Baldur's Gate, don't mess with me, and it's nobody likes him. Anyway, last but certainly not least, we're very excited that he is here and doing well. It is Monty Ashley. Hi, Monty.
Hi, I'm Monty. I'm playing Townley Mountain Taker, and Townley used to be sort of a nerd who was like researching the flow of alluvial floodplains, but then he was visited by the Queen of Air and Darkness, and now he's a warlock.
Nice.
As happens so frequently.
Yeah. It's, usually you have to go to grad school for that, but it can happen to anybody. All right.
She gave him magic eyes.
Mm. So our adventure today, we're going to jump right into it. Our adventure starts at the gates to the Candlekeep Library. Now, the first thing people frequently ask me about Candlekeep is like, wow, a big famous library. What city is it in? And I will tell you that Candlekeep is effectively a city in of itself. It is like a city that is a library. It is a sprawling complex of buildings all intertwined, of various ancient libraries on all kinds of subject areas, all built together. And it stands on the coast. It's on the Sword Coast if you're into D&D geography. It is built up on the coast, and it is kind of a castle fortress type structure that contains the library. Now, entrance into the library proper is very hard to obtain, and probably beyond the abilities of our adventurers who are joining us today just at level 1. But almost anyone can enter into the outer ward of Candlekeep, where you can basically put in requests for select volumes to be brought to you. And the outer ward of Candlekeep is like a small town. There are in fact 2 inns. There's kind of the party inn and the quiet inn. There's stables. There's a blacksmith. There's a bathhouse. There's a temple, a temple to Ogma, the god of knowledge. And there are these pillars of pedagogy, kind of little office spaces that basically scholars and sages rent to basically sit there and study books from the library from some time. You would probably know by reputation that Candlekeep Library is staffed by this kind of monk-like order known as the Avowed. They are basically, magic librarians who have taken a oath of obligation to the god of writing, and they staff and protect the collection here in Candlekeep. So you've arrived at Candlekeep shortly before dawn, and you probably had to travel overnight. There's kind of a line that's waiting outside the gates for the doors to be flung open and the public to be admitted into Candlekeep. You also knew ahead of time that the price of entrance into Candlekeep is 1 book that is not already part of the collection. Special exemptions made for books of incredible value and rarity and whatnot. So, any questions about Candlekeep as you're sitting in line waiting to shuffle your way up to the front of the line? As a reminder, you have all journeyed from... Monty, what's the town that you journeyed from?
South Hillville.
South Hillville. Canon, writing it down. South Hillville, you have a specific mission that you are trying to accomplish that brought you here. And perhaps, you would have at least met each other over the course of your journey to Candlekeep. But, I don't know if any of you have a relationship that goes back beyond the last couple days. You may wish to remind yourselves of, say, what role you can serve in a party or in a battle, what your armor class is as you take turns trying to figure out who to hide behind, etc. Who would be at the front of the line to get into the library?
Are we going by armor class or by ego?
Ego, I would say.
Martel is
all right.
Right up at the front.
All right. Martel Mainsplain has taken the lead. The rest of you have followed in behind them. There's the sound of a loud bell ringing a couple times. There's several chimes. The doors creak open, and the line is moving briskly. It's a very long line of people waiting to get into Candlekeep, but Candlekeep seems to run a pretty clockwork operation here as your line moves steadily toward the gates. You find yourself next in line. There's kind of an intern looking human in robes. He points you to there's a series of desks basically set up in the kind of gateway of this huge castle wall, and there's a half orc standing next to a pile of books at his desk. He's got a clipboard, got little spectacles, and he's waving his clipboard at you as the intern points your group in that direction. So Martel Mainsplain, I believe you are first up.
So I do have a book to donate. Martel is going to donate it. It's a signed first edition, very rare.
Oh, first edition. We like that. And who might be the author of this work?
Well, it's a self-published tome. It is called the
self-published.
It's entitled
the half orc behind the desk whistles, and an intern rolls like a rolly cart over that is already stacked with the most ragtag collection of books. Several of them look like they might be bound. A decent percentage of them appear to be bound in leaves and not your traditional leather binding. And the half orc librarian takes the book from your hand, Martel, and goes to place it on that rolling cart.
It's entitled The Wit and Wisdom of One Martel Mainsplain by Martel Mainsplain.
And your name, sir?
It's Martel Mainsplain.
He waves you past, puts the book on the rolling cart.
There was no second edition, and there are no unsigned copies.
Very good, sir. Please, you may enter. I am just going to go next in the order that I think these tokens are on my screen. Hermione, do you mind being next in
I
line?
would love to. I am presenting to you this well-loved Hoofwarts, A History by Bathilda Bagtrot. It has really expanded my knowledge in the wizarding world, and I feel like it has a new home here in Candlekeep.
Okay, the librarian is inspecting it carefully. Out of character, is this a legitimate book?
Well, Hogwarts, A History is a legitimate book.
Well, no, I
But-
mean, I'm just asking
Oh.
you, Hermione, is this a legitimate book, or is this like some self-published
Self-published.
tap?
This is a legitimate book.
Okay,
for sure.
legitimate
I
book
am
is well bound.
well bound.
Okay.
Not quite like leather cover, but not a trade paperback yet.
Okay.
So like
The librarian is inspecting it and gives you an approving nod and places it kind of in a place of prominence in a pile of dusty leather-bound books on the desk that are clearly going to be sorted and not just shoveled into a pile somewhere.
Shoveled into a fire, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's important to keep the other books well heated. That's not how books. I have many librarian friends, and none of them have joined me for this adventure. It's for the best. I'm gonna get myself in
Yes.
trouble if I ever run this for legitimate librarians. All right, Townley, I think you are next in line.
Yes, hello. I have here volume 1 of the alluvial flow of the Tri-Hillville area, an extensive study that was meant to be the first of a series of 10 books, all defining the underwater flow in the area, but I don't have to do that anymore, so you can have this.
You wouldn't believe how many series start out with ideas about how long they'll be and then peter off. We see it all the time. He inspects the binding of the book. Townley, does this seem to be a legitimate publication?
Oh, yeah. This first edition was published actually by Candlekeep, but all three editions, or all three bound versions they made, all were in Townley's possession.
Gotcha. All right. He places it not on the pile of fancy books, but on the desk, not in the pile of garbage self-published books. Paulie, do you want to be next?
Sure, why not? So, I got this book. It's written by my father's father, and it's been very important to my family, and it's called A Walk with Paulie, A Gnome's Guide to Nature.
Oh, we will be very glad to add to the gnome collection. The librarian inspects the book. How well physically assembled does this book appear to be?
Oh, it's like legit here. I mean, check it out. It's like the most legit thing you got.
Is it actually legit?
Yeah? Would I lie to you?
Well, the librarian says, I'm just, from experience, legit people never use the word legit. But please, carry on.
I mean, I'm too legit to quit, buddy. Don't even.
Please enjoy your stay in Candlekeep.
Yeah, you enjoy your day. That sounded more aggressive than I intended.
And last but not least, I believe in the line is Lapis.
So I walk up to the desk. Don't say anything. Out of my satchel, I pull out this beautiful black leather-bound tome with a gold gilded cover, and I set it before the librarian, the monk, and I just say, I think this speaks for itself.
The librarian inspects the book, seems very impressed with it, and goes to put it in the I believe the collection of good books, which so far from your party only I think it probably has with Hermione's and Townley's books.
I wrote a whole blurb for the back of my book, I'll have you know.
Yeah, a lot of authors do that for self-published works. So
A whole blurb.
all right. You are waved past Lapis, and all of you kind of shuffle into the main courtyard of Candlekeep, known as the Court of Air, which is basically kind of the central place where visitors arrive. And from here, you could go to a temple, to an inn, to the bathhouses, the stables. There's a special house of binding, so you are not allowed to remove books from Candlekeep, but you can arrange to have copies made. Only the avowed and very special VIPs are allowed into the inner sanctums of the library, which they would enter through the Emerald Door. But yes, there is kind of in the middle of this, it's not on the map, but I've decided it's there, a very prominent, because it's a library, information desk that I imagine would be staffed by interns. Where do you want to head next, adventures?
The erudite outfitters and clothiers. That sounds amazing.
Is this an adventure where you're going to go shopping?
Aren't we looking for some guy? We should find that guy.
Yeah, let's go to the information desk.
All right. Monty, I would like you to roll a d8. This is from the book. This will determine the quality of the adjutant who is available to wait on you.
6.
All right. So you head up to the information desk. It's like a nice little kiosk. Kind of doesn't look that much fancier than the kind of place that you might buy lemonade from a small child. There's a couple surly-looking teens behind the counter who avoid making eye contact. There is an older human scribe who's kind of manning the front desk. He is standing next to, on one side, there's kind of a large sign proclaiming the rules of Candlekeep, and to his other side, there's a stack of pamphlets talking about how great Candlekeep is. So this 67-year-old human scribe who's wearing kind of intern robes is standing there waiting to help you out. Welcome to Candlekeep! Take that, Paulie. I can be annoying too.
Paulie.
I know what I said. How may I be of help here in your stay in the world's greatest library?
Are you Matrius?
No, my name is Oren Glass. Dutiful.
Why aren't you Matrius?
Guard. I don't know who that is.
The wise sage known as Matrius?
We have a lot of
Everybody
wise
knows
sages
Matrius.
here. Is he
But
visiting?
how many named Matrius?
Do you have a meeting with him?
Yes, we do.
Hold on. Oren Glass disappears behind the counter. You hear the sound of a lot of books and stuff being moved around. He pulls out a large, looks kind of like a guest book at a fancy hotel. It's huge. Looks like it weighs 25 pounds. It boom, as he drops it down on the counter, and he starts flipping through it. What was that name again?
Matrius.
Could you spell that for me?
Matreous.
Matrius. And he would have checked in recently?
Is this a hotel?
Yes.
It was a library.
Well, Oren starts flipping through the pages of the guest book. And he says, yes, Matrius, a visiting sage. It says here he is from, I wrote it down, it's canon, South Hillville. Yeah, he's been here a couple days. He's got an office reserved in the Pillars of Pedagogy. Would you like me to take you there?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
Definitely.
Of course.
All right. So Oren manages to recruit one of the other interns who are all surly teenagers to actually do their jobs. He puts the guest book back under the counter, and he comes out from behind it and leads you over north to the north side of the Court of Air. So basically, the north side of the outer area of Candlekeep is this kind of little walled off section. It's called the Pillars of Pedagogy. They're all these kind of stout, circular little towers with flat tops. Some of them have like nice little bridges connecting them. And he explains as you go, yeah, so your more notable sages and wizards and scholars and book reviewers, they rent offices here in the Pillars of Pedagogy. And yeah, so that for quiet study. And we fetch them their books. Some of them take their meals here. And yeah. And I'll take you. Let's see. Matrius, he was in Tower 4, Office 5. Or was that Tower 5, Office 4? Anyway, let's go. And he heads into the area. There's another kind of stern-looking librarian in purple robes who seeing that you're in the company of one of the adjutants, that being Oren Glass, isn't too worried about checking you in for making sure that you're not bringing anything illegal into the Pillars of Pedagogy. But he does kind of, he just puts his finger to his mouth and taps a large sign that proclaims the rules of Candlekeep. And perhaps it would be a good idea to remind you of the rules of Candlekeep, whether your particular characters are invested in following them or not. But this is the second sign proclaiming the rules of Candlekeep. And the second sign, I'll read this one to you since you didn't care about the first one. There's 4 main rules of Candlekeep. No fighting, and then no stealing, no copying, and no damaging, marking, or otherwise modifying the works. So, Oren Glass is going to take you down the hall, and one of the first things you know is as you pass through the gates and into the area of the power of the Pillars of Pedagogy is that it is deathly silent, and in fact, your own footsteps on the stone floors make no noise.
I have hooves, not feet.
Your clopping hooves
Thank you.
make no noise. Your hoof steps. It is silent. And Matrius leads you down several twisting passageways across a little courtyard into what you hope is the correct tower, up several flights of stairs, and down another hallway. Anything you want to do along the way?
I just want to look around. Like,
Okay.
Is it just a like stone? Is it lined with books? Like, what's going on?
It's all stone, and basically the tower that you are being led through, it is just these kind of twisting, curving passageways that probably line up with the circular structure of the tower itself, and the walls are basically just lined with kind of tightly packed doors that must lead to little offices that people have rented. There's no windows in the door, so you can't see what's going on behind them, but they all have like little brass numbers kind of affixed to the outside of the door. You'll notice that several of the doors have like a little kind of sheath of paper on a hook hanging next to it that perhaps indicates instructions or maybe books or they've taken out or food orders or something like that, perhaps suggesting which offices might be occupied or not. And it is, again, incredibly silent. Your footsteps make no noise, and none of you have stopped to say anything, but you can't even hear yourself breathing. Which is kind of an weird, unnatural silence. So after a certain amount of time, Oren Glass leads you to he stops at an office door. And he takes his hand up and he makes kind of a knocking motion on the door, but there is no sound. He stands there, waiting patiently, kind of rocking back and forth on his heels.
We're all just being polite and staying quiet because that's what the rules are.
Yeah.
He turns and smiles at all of you, kind of nods his head.
Nod.
Can I try and yell?
Yeah,
The rules
Paulie.
didn't say anything about yelling.
Paulie, you try to yell just for my own knowledge. What do you try to yell?
I trip a little bit and I go, son of a, for a second.
So the rest of you see Paulie trip, and Paulie's mouth goes open rather large, I would assume, as if some kind of exclamation. But no, there's no sound.
And then I mouth, what the?
I would just like to
Oren Glass.
say at this point that I do have the observant feat, so I can read Polly's lips and understand what
Nice.
Polly is saying.
I thought you were going to tell me that,
greatly
so
offended.
I know what's going on. But no. So you know what Paulie has said. Oren Glass knocks, or at least makes a knocking motion on the door again.
I open the door.
Oh. Oren looks a little taken aback by that. But you open the door, Townley, and are looking into a small, cluttered office. It's relatively Spartan. There's basically a wooden table, a wooden chair, a bunch of stacks of books on the table, and some on the floor. Looks like perhaps somebody's knapsack with personal belongings, and a few plates worth of perhaps meals that someone has taken here stacked up. There is no sign of any occupant inside this little stone room. There's no windows or other doors off of it. Oren Glass looks in and is somewhat surprised to see that the room is empty.
Is there any little piece of paper hanging on this door?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have a look at it.
You flip through the pieces of paper. It indicates that Matrius has made a reservation of this room for. They don't use the week in Dungeons and Dragons because they're fancy fantasy people. They call it a 10-day. Can you guess how many days are in a 10-day?
12.
No. And he checked in about 5 days ago. So he still has a good number of days left on his reservation. There's also indicates here his meals, and it looks like he was having 2 meals a day delivered from the inn across the courtyard. But that has dropped off about 2 days ago.
Sure, he's fine.
Yeah.
Are any of the meals?
Thank you.
Are there any
players.
meals here that were uneaten? Like, does it look like a few meals got delivered without anybody?
It does.
Here?
It looks like there are there's a day's worth of plates stacked on the table. It looks like he has basically not ordered another meal recently, and so no meal has been delivered that has gone unconsumed. So there's just dirty dishes that someone has eaten off of.
Can I tell how long it's been since a meal was eaten?
I think, but you literally know from basically the receipt in the piece of paper that Martel is looking at, and looking at the kind of cold, dirty, crusty plates. It has been 2 days.
I would like to look at like the desk, the main workstation, to see like what he was last working on.
All right, there is one book kind of placed in the center of the desk with a little notebook next to it. It's a very fancy looking book, and it is marked as being part of the Candlekeep collection, whereas the other books may be things that he brought with him. The book is it's a heavy tome. It's got ornately tooled leather covers. They've got a nice kind of gold filigree. This is a fancy book, people. It's got the image of an imposing looking, we'll just say magic-y looking person on the cover of the book. And on the spine is the name of the book, The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces. Somebody could attempt a Arcana or History check to identify the person on the cover of the book.
I would like to try an Arcana roll,
Mhm.
please. 22.
You instantly recognize the image of the legendary mage, someone who created and modified some very famous spells that still carry his name, Mordenkainen. That's what he looks like. He's kind of got a Lenin look going to him. And so it seems like Mordenkainen's The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces perhaps was the last book checked out by Matrius the Sage as it's sitting there on the desk.
I got a 16 to a history check. What do I know about him?
You would know, so you know he's famous, and that he is particularly into, perhaps not surprising given the title of the book, information about kind of creating little pocket dimensional places and kind of things that exist outside of our plane of existence. So this book seems to be perhaps a collection of his most famous theory and instructions on creating extra-dimensional spaces.
I have a look at the notebook that's sitting next to the book.
All right. It's got all kinds of weird scribbling in it. Give me either an intelligence or arcana check to make any sense of it.
This is not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
12.
You know, it looks like magic notes to you. You're not sure.
I shrug and hand it to somebody else.
Okay.
Oh, I'll have a look at it.
Oren Glass is like, this is very strange. I wonder if we should report him missing.
Wait, we can talk to each other now?
Oh, yeah. Once you're in the office, you're fine.
Oh,
I got another 22.
Wow, really burning those high numbers now. So this, and I'll just say, because you were looking at the book also, Townley, you're kind of comparing the book to the notes. And there's some interesting things going here. So this is Mordenkainen's big book about all kinds of magic spells. It's very dense, kind of high-level information. Somebody has gone through, perhaps someone who owned this book, and made lots of notes in the margins, but they are also somewhat kind of complicated and arcane in a complicated sense, not also in a magical sense. And some of them even seem like they might be in code. And then there's, in a different set of handwriting, presumably Matrius's, in the notes, kind of his notes about the notes. And you are able to make out it's in kind of a weird magic user shorthand. But at the very bottom of the notes, there is a word that is circled. It is not written quite out, but it's written in, you recognize the kind of symbolic shorthand for the word scepter.
I open the big
I look
book.
around the room for a scepter.
Paulie, give me an investigation check to look for a scepter. Martel, did you want to do something?
Yeah, I want to open the big book.
All right, you open the big book. I mean, Townley was looking through it already. It's got all kinds of information about Mordenkind's spells, but also a lot on like history and theory of magic, and also some stuff about his weird political ideas. Hermione, do you want to be doing anything while this is happening?
I'm going to stand kind of by the door.
All right.
Try to
Orin
stay out
Glass
of the
is
way.
also standing by the door. He seems a little bit at a loss for this. It seems like possibly this is the first time he's lost a sage. Paulie, did you roll an investigation check?
Yeah, I see nothing.
Okay, you see no scepters.
I got a 5.
And you feel pretty, but there's not a lot of like room to hide a scepter in this little reading nook. It's basically, there's some books, there's some old plates. There's look like it's probably like presumably Matrius's backpack of stuff that's like half unpacked, and it's it's just like a bedroll and nothing, his personal effects, nothing too exciting. Lapis, would you like to be doing anything?
I think I want to look around the room and see if anything seems out of sorts.
All right, give me a quick. I'll just count that as a perception check.
Perception. Okay. I'm good at perception. That's a 24.
You're looking for anything specific, or just looking for clues?
Just looking for clues.
No, it seems there's not a lot to this little. This office is basically a large closet. No windows, no other doors. There's no sign of a struggle. It's like the scholar just walked away. There's just his books and his personal belongings and some old plates. He did leave his notebook right there.
I'd like to look through the notebook too.
All right.
What check was that again?
I've been having people make an intelligence check.
Okay. It's only a 13.
Okay. You are able to make out the kind of the keyword there again, scepter. That's like circled. There's basically like I'll say that you also notice the word seems like probably a name. Fistandia is mentioned a couple times.
Is there an index in this big book?
Sure.
Can I look and see if
Why
there's
not?
any mentions of scepters or that other person?
There is no mention. As you're flipping through the book, you notice just inside the front cover, someone has written the name Fistandia. Below that is stamped like property of Candlekeep Library.
Should we?
So Fistandia probably did the first round of notes inside the book, it sounds like.
Can we ask our guide if they know
Hello?
this person?
What person?
This Fistandia lady, or dude. I don't know this person. This. Who are they? Do you know?
Oh,
Excuse me.
yes.
Let me try and make that more polite.
Oh,
Excuse
thank
me,
you.
kind person. I would like to know about this other person. Thank you.
Oh, yes, Fistandia. Well, I've never met her myself. I think she's from before my time, but she was an important scholar and magic user and a frequent visitor here at Candlekeep. I think we've got a whole wing of one of the libraries that's named after her. She donated so many important works to us. I think this used to be her office as well. She spent a lot of time here. I hear that she was very kind and knowledgeable.
You keep saying like the past tense here. Is this person dead or just not here?
Well, I mean, I've never met her, and I've been here for 57 years.
So you don't know if she's dead or not.
I don't know that for certain.
Interesting.
Lapis?
Do you know anything about, did she have a scepter that she carried with her?
I don't think that she is known for that.
Do you know of any scepters?
You know what, Lapis?
Yeah.
As you said the word scepter, the book glowed. And
Whoa!
and a wall of the office suddenly also starts to glow with a similar kind of orange energy, and there is suddenly on the blank stone wall a set of ornate oaken double doors with fancy kind of brass and gold fittings to them just kind of appear. Orin Glass seems kind of surprised by it.
Oh, hey!
It seems like scepter may have been a command word that would open up some kind of portal that I was waiting for any of you to say out loud.
Hey, everyone, I think that word might have been some sort of command word that made stuff happen in this room.
Paulie might have said scepter first, but possibly
There's no way to know.
Possibly in a heavy enough accent that the spellbook was unfamiliar with it. So there is now a glittering set of Dumbledores in the wall of the office, sparkling with energy. Auranglass says, "Was that there before? I don't think any of our offices have that."
Yeah, I think we're done with you. And I close the door. I don't really do that. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Except
he would be if he's pushed into the hallway. You can't hear how pissed off he is. So.
I think Martel is going to go over and open the doors and then hold them open in a kind of antiquated chivalry way.
All right, Martel, Mainsplain, you go open the doors to hold them open in an antiquated, chivalrous way. Behind the doors is a swirling vortex of energy which sucks you through, and as well as anyone else who is not affixed to anything or attempting to resist the pull of this magical vortex.
Sometimes you just gotta go with the magical vortex.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we say
Magical
anything
vortex,
as we get sucked
absolutely.
Please do, Paulie.
through? Can we paint you a picture here?
Yes.
Whoa! I'm being sucked through this vortex. This is crazy. Did you guys
Anyone
see
else?
this?
Whee!
I'm just going to have a kind of glazed look of delight on my face.
It takes several minutes as you kind of surf through the vortex. I imagine it's a little bit like going through the wormhole at Deep Space Nine. And then you arrive at the end of the vortex. You see a similar set of double doors that fling open, and almost as if you were like sliding down a slide, you all tumble out into what appears to be the foyer, antechamber, vestibule, hallway for a fancy mansion. And I'm going to take you to a map. So, you emerge in a grand foyer has got a mansion-like quality to it. The doors kind of behind you are still open with kind of swirling a vortex behind you. This place is very fancy looking. The ceiling arches to 15 feet overhead. There's a long hallway that stretches out, running kind of east to west in this large building. You can see there's nice oak paneled things. There's a fancy carpet on the ground. Everything is kind of well lit and looks kind of shiny. And but the most kind of eye-catching sight is right in front of you is an elderly looking man,
Eldritch Blast.
wearing gray robes. Do you want to Eldritch Blast Matrius the Sage?
No.
Okay.
I guess not.
Oh, heavens!
Put her away.
It's so good to see you. I've been trapped here I don't know how long it's been.
2 days.
Oh, heavens! Thank goodness. I didn't want to spend the rest of my days here, though this place is fantastic. So many books, so much knowledge. Also, not a bad mansion, if I do say so myself. Look at this thing. He holds up, and it seems to be like a large brass kind of statue of like an imp. I found this. I'm taking it with me. Oh, pardon me. I'm Matrius. Nice to meet your acquaintance, people who are rescuing me.
You said that you're trapped?
Well, I was trapped. I couldn't get those doors open.
Are they still open?
They're
I
still
try
open.
and open the doors.
Oh, they
They
are
are.
still open.
Okay.
Yeah, they have remained open.
Oh.
We've won the adventure. Hooray!
Hooray!
I find a
Tony,
table. Is there
I would-
is there furniture or anything around?
Yeah, there's like a nice little end table.
A nice is there any heavy furniture around?
There's a nice armoire. I don't know enough
Oh,
about
yeah.
fancy furniture.
Oh yeah. Hey, this armoire.
It's-
That will do. It'll do.
All right.
So I
it's,
try
it's-
and start pushing.
You're like, yeah, you start pushing an
I want to
armoire.
push it so it props the door open.
All
so
right, it is
stays open.
scuffing the fancy rug, but good. But you have pushed the armoire, so it's propping open the door. The doors are there. The energy is swirling behind it, but not with the kind of same intensity that you were yanked through to begin with. Yes. No, that's how Oren Glass sounds. Matrix is like, no, I believe we'll have a little bit of time before those doors snap shut. You see, I passed through. They were there for a little while, and then they shut. And in fact, the door itself disappeared. It was very troubling. But I have been studying Mordenkainen's work and Fistandia's work on Mordenkainen's work, and I think I'm actually helping keep them open with a little bit of concentration. I just needed somebody to give it a little bit of a shove there. Thank you.
How long before they close, do you think?
I think as long as I concentrate, I can keep them open.
Okay. We are here from South Hillville.
South Hillville. I know it well.
Yeah, there's a drought. We think it's cursed. And so we're wondering, can you lift this curse?
In exchange for us having got you out of this
Yeah.
terrible
Right.
prison.
Huh. Well, that is interesting. I've always, I mean,
correction for us getting you out of this very nice prison.
yes.
Yes.
I should mention this prison is very nice. And I'd actually kind of like to maintain access to this prison. Seems like the former owner hasn't been here in some time, and I'm getting to be a certain age, and it's like you want to have a place to retire to. You know what it's like, and let me put it to you this way: if you could help me find the keys to this prison, I would be more inclined to help you, since that is what I am currently most interested in. You see, the command word scepter, I assume you figured that out as well. Though it was my brilliance to figure it out originally. Well, it was Fistandia's brilliance, but it was my secondary brilliance. So you see, yes, Fistandia has created this space. It is a mansion within a pocket dimension, and it's quite impressive. The word scepter allows one to enter. I have not figured out as of yet the word that allows one to exit. So I am keeping the portal open currently, but I would really appreciate some help with that so that I could come and go from this place. And once my retirement is sorted away, I would be more than happy to journey back with you to South Hillville and deal with that plague. I am not a fan of curses and plagues, but a fan of lifting them. And I was born and bred in South Hillville. I know it well, though it's been some months since my travels had taken me home. So what do you say? Do we have a deal?
You were born and bred? How does that
Well,
work?
I mean, I was born and I ate bread there. What does it mean where you're from?
Oh, I thought you were born into some bread. I don't know. It was a whole thing in my mind.
Oh, no, I don't think so. But my memory of the event is limited.
I'm sorry. I get very easily distracted.
I know what it's like.
I would be delighted to wander through this mansion, which I assume you're asking us to do, and find
Something.
Keys. Are these physical keys or metaphorical keys?
I believe they are metaphorical keys.
Oh, the worst kind.
Okay, well those are much easier to find.
So tell you what, I am quite hungry. It has been a while. I'll be honest, I've really only poked my head into a few doors here. I was a little nervous for the first, it must have been at least a day. I'm also quite hungry, so I'm thinking I'll pop back over to Candlekeep. I'll, of course, stay within range of the portal, concentrating, keeping this open. Yes, I would like to get some food, if that's okay with you.
Can you throw like a sub or two down the portal so we can have a little snack?
Certainly. I can.
Thanks.
I call them
Thanks.
heroes where I'm from.
That's the same place we're from.
Oh, that's true. Well, you can just pop through the portal whenever you get, but please, I do need to know what that command word is, and of course I'll be testing it out before I leave this place to journey with you back to good old South Hillville.
So
Go
do
Southie.
you have any ideas where we should start looking, or is this just like Totally random.
I'm sure it won't be hard for adventurers such as yourself.
To look at the map and see where it's lit.
Seemed
Yeah.
hard enough for you.
Well, I was all alone, and I was a little bit more surprised by the whole situation than I think you all are. And I suspect you've had a meal more recently than me.
So, in the last 2 days, where have you been? Just like right here? Sitting? In the hall?
And he points to the door right behind him. In there.
For
Okay.
2 days.
What's in there?
It's a library. Or a study.
Are there any toilets?
Den,
Did you
maybe?
visit?
Yeah,
any
I'm concerned
toilets?
where you've been going to the bathroom, and I
Yeah.
don't want to go in that room. So just tell us where not to go.
I'll be going now. And he pushes past you and through the portal.
We're
Whee!
going to find like a
It's-
stack of books in the shape of a urinal.
I'm very
He's
upset
only been
that he
reading
did not
Hardy
tell us.
Boys books this whole time.
And one Nancy Drew book that's like hidden under the five Hardy Boy books. There's nothing wrong with that. He's truly he is prisoner both to toxic masculinity and a magic mansion that he's stuck in.
Aren't we all?
So you hear him say "wee" and he disappears. And you also hear his voice called is, "Oh, this is exciting! I think my voice carries through the portal. Can you hear me?"
Yes.
Yeah!
Very good. Can I order anything for you? You said 2 subs.
Meatball!
Gonna need
Meatball
more
subs for
than
everybody?
2.
All right.
I'd like a pizzone.
The gabagool!
Can I have a cannoli, please?
Okay, let me write all this down.
Just all the Italian food you can find.
You hear Matrius scream in pain, and the portal clicks close. The doors slam shut, sending the armoire spinning as they move with magical energy. And in fact, as they snap shut, they then fade out of existence, and there's just kind of an oak-paneled wall behind them.
Martel does not think we're
Cool.
getting those sandwiches.
Wait, is that other guy with us? That the guide?
No, you told him that he wasn't needed.
No, we shoved him out of the
Yeah.
room
I
originally.
mean, we saved
Yeah.
his life, really. So
You did not treat him well, and so he did not accompany you into the extra-dimensional space. And so our adventurers find themselves trapped in some kind of extra-dimensional space, but not a horrible place, not a prison, not a dungeon, not a place where a dragon lives, but a mansion.
know of.
And surely a mansion that will be free of any hazards or traps or deadly things that will thwart them, and they need only explore to find their way around and have some fun, jolly adventures together that will no doubt be free of peril. Will their adventures be free of peril? Who will live and who will die? How long will it be before I eject Tiff from the podcast for doing Paulie's voice for answers to questions such as these? Tune in next time to Total Party Kill.